Hi everyone. You might have just noticed that the voice you're hearing is not Colt's, so let me introduce myself. I'm Ellie, and I've worked with Colt for the past couple years at a few coding schools in San Francisco, and I'm really excited to teach you all some intermediate JavaScript. In this video, we're going to be talking about the keyword this. The keyword this is a bit tricky to wrap your head around when learning intermediate JavaScript, but it is the foundation for object-oriented programming and other trickier concepts like call, apply, and bind, which we'll cover in a later video. To get started, we're going to try to understand what the keyword this is. We're then going to analyze the 4 ways the keyword this is determined so that we can always know what the value will be. Finally, I'm going to try as hard as possible not to use the word this in a sentence. Here we go. So what is the keyword this? First off, it is a reserved keyword in JavaScript, which means we can't set it as the value of any variable. More importantly, the value of the keyword this is determined by how a function is called. We usually call this the function's execution context. But the most important thing about the keyword this is that if you understand the 4 rules of how the value of the keyword this can be determined, global, implicit, explicit, and new, you will never have a problem with the keyword this. So let's get started with the most broad rule of them all, the global context. This rule applies when you see the keyword this outside of a declared object. What do I mean by declared object? Excellent question. What we mean here is that there has not been an object defined which contains the keyword this. You can also think of it as the keyword this is in the wild. When we see the keyword this in the global context, its value refers to the global object, which in the browser is the window object. In fact, every variable that you declare in the global scope is actually attached to the window object. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to make a variable called person, and I'll set that equal to Ellie. Now this variable person is actually attached to the window object, which means that window.person is actually the same exact thing as this person variable that I made. Now that we have an idea of what the window object is, let's come back to the keyword this. On the first line, we see the keyword this is in the wild. It is not inside of any object. So what's its value? You guessed it, or maybe you just saw in the comment. It's the window. Simple enough. When the keyword this is outside of an object, its value is the global object, which in the case of the browser is the window object. So what have we learned so far? The keyword this is a reserved keyword that can be determined using one of 4 rules. We saw a bit of the first rule, which stated that when the keyword this is not inside of a declared object, its value is the global object. In the next video, we're going to see what happens when the keyword this is inside of a function. See you there.